to know.
What's he got in his hands? Open your hands, now!
Some fantasy shows whisk you away to magical kingdoms. But these dive into the shadows, where nightmares, mythology, and madness collide.
It's a good bear. You won't have any trouble.
From twisted timelines to demonic bargains, these are the dark fantasy series that will mess with your head. And you'll love every second of it. Let's dive into 10 mind-bending, dark fantasy shows you need to binge right now. Number 10, Hellbound, Netflix.
속죄를 잃어버렸습니다.
What if divine judgment wasn't symbolic, but a violent public execution? Hellbound is a brutal Korean dark fantasy where supernatural beings emerge to sentence people to hell, live, on the streets, in front of screaming crowds. When society witnesses these grotesque demonstrations, fear spreads like wildfire, and a cult-like religious movement rises to claim divine authority. Directed by Train to Busan's Yeon Sang-ho, the series mixes searing social commentary with terrifying visual horror. From flaming monsters to chilling philosophical questions about sin, justice, and control, Hellbound isn't just shocking. It's deeply unsettling. It's the kind of show that grabs your soul, shakes it, and dares you to look away. If you thought Squid Game was dark, this one descends straight into the pit and drags society with it. Number 9, American Gods, Prime Video.
You trying to start a war?
We're at war already, and we're losing.
What if gods didn't disappear? They just got replaced. American Gods dives into a surreal war between ancient deities and modern-day idols like technology and media. Based on Neil Gaiman's iconic novel, the series follows Shadow Moon, a brooding ex-con who becomes the bodyguard of the mysterious Mr. Wednesday, aka Odin himself. What begins as a road trip across America quickly unravels into a chaotic, symbolic clash of belief systems, mythology, and identity. The series is visually hypnotic, blending dreamlike imagery with razor-sharp allegory. Though it launched with major promise and 3 seasons of rich world-building, American Gods was unexpectedly canceled before its planned conclusion, leaving fans with both awe and frustration. Still, for those who love bold cerebral fantasy with a mythological twist, this dark journey is absolutely worth the ride. Number 8, The Magicians, Tubi.
Innate abilities and hone them to the highest degree. Let's see some magic.
Forget Hogwarts. The Magicians is what happens when magic school grows up, gets cynical, and drowns itself in trauma and vodka. This sci-fi cult hit follows Quentin Coldwater and a group of magically gifted misfits who discover that the fairy tale world they once adored isn't just real. It's violently broken. Behind the whimsy lies existential dread, monstrous gods, time loops, and deeply human suffering. The Magicians masterfully blends dry humor, high fantasy, and psychological horror into a dark cocktail of chaos. It's twisted, funny, meta, and emotionally gutting, often all in the same episode. With 5 seasons and 65 episodes, the series built an elaborate mythology, but was cut off just shy of the end its fans hoped for. Still, it remains one of the boldest, weirdest fantasy shows of the past decade. Number 7, his Dark Materials, Max.
Has anyone seen a bear?
A visually rich and thematically weighty epic, his Dark Materials is a rare fantasy that dares to question the very nature of belief, authority, and the soul. Based on Philip Pullman's acclaimed novels, this HBO-BBC co-production follows Lyra, a bold young girl whose journey across worlds reveals sinister truths behind the all-powerful magisterium and the mysterious substance known as dust. Armed with a truth-telling device and her shape-shifting demon, Lyra teams up with Will Perry, a knife-wielding boy from our world, and eventually becomes the fulcrum of a cosmic rebellion. With outstanding performances, especially Ruth Wilson as Mrs. Coulter, breathtaking visuals, and deep existential themes, the 3-season series ends with emotional devastation and spiritual awe. It's Narnia meets Blade Runner with angels, talking bears, and multiverse warfare. Number 6, Grimm, Prime Video.
Boots. This is no fairy tale. The stories are real. You have to hunt down the bad ones.
What if fairy tales weren't just stories, but warnings? Grimm reimagines folklore as a secret war simmering beneath modern society, where monsters wear human faces and the line between myth and murder blurs. Nick Burkhart, a Portland detective, discovers he's a Grimm, one of the last in a bloodline of supernatural guardians tasked with keeping balance between humanity and Wesson, creatures straight out of dark legend. Blending crime procedural with twisted fantasy, the show starts as Monster of the Week, but evolves into a myth-heavy saga of royal conspiracies, ancient artifacts, and interspecies rebellion. It's gritty, fast-paced, and packed with freaky creature design. With 6 seasons and 123 episodes, Grimm never got the mainstream hype it deserved. But for fans of shadowy urban fantasy with a pulpy, folkloric bite, it's a hidden gem waiting to be unearthed. Number 5. Penny Dreadful, Paramount Plus. What if all the monsters you feared as a child lived in the same haunted London and knew each other by name? Penny Dreadful is a gothic fever dream where Dracula, Frankenstein, Dorian Gray, and witches clash beneath gaslit skies. At the center is Vanessa Ives, Eva Green, a tormented psychic at war with demons both literal and personal. The series resurrects 19th century horror icons with literary reverence and lush, decadent style. Think League of Extraordinary Gentlemen with a tragic soul and prestige polish. With only 3 seasons and 27 episodes, its narrative burns like a dark poem. Moody, theatrical, and shockingly intimate. Not every storyline lands perfectly, but when it's good, it's hypnotic. For lovers of Victorian horror, doomed romance, and supernatural spectacle, Penny Dreadful is a beautifully stitched monster worth embracing. Number 4. Castlevania, Netflix.
For our own.
It's a spell.
Who knew one of the greatest video game adaptations ever made would be a savage, operatic bloodbath about grief, revenge, and philosophical vampires? Castlevania begins as Dracula declares war on humanity after the church burns his beloved wife at the stake. What follows is a brutal symphony of gore, magic, and existential pain, anchored by the unlikely trio of Trevor Belmont, a sarcastic monster hunter, Sypha Belnades, a badass elemental mage, and Alucard, Dracula's tormented half-human son. Across 4 seasons, the show evolves from gothic horror to mythic tragedy, with dazzling anime-inspired visuals and whip-cracking dialogue penned by Warren Ellis. It's sexy, violent, surprisingly profound, and utterly relentless. Castlevania doesn't just adapt a video game, it elevates it into high art with fangs. For fans of dark fantasy, this is essential viewing. Number 3. Lock and Key, Netflix. A haunted house, a grieving family, and a set of magical keys that can do the impossible. Lock and Key is a supernatural thriller wrapped in emotional coming-of-age drama. When the Locke kids move into Key House after their father's murder, they uncover keys that open doors to time travel, ghost worlds, mind exploration, and much more. But each key comes with its own danger, and a dark force named Dodge wants them all. Based on the acclaimed comics by Joe Hill and Gabriel Rodriguez, this show blends mystery, horror, and heart with slick visuals and grounded performances. It's not just about magic, it's about memory, trauma, and the cost of unlocking your past. For fans of Stranger Things and The Haunting of Hill House, this series is a captivating key turn into fantasy. Number 2. Supernatural, Netflix.
We've got 3 bullets left. Let it go.
Listen, tough guy, we're not ready. Okay, we don't know how many of them are out there.
2 brothers, 1 black 67 Chevy Impala, countless monsters, demons, angels, and more dad issues than therapy could ever fix. Supernatural starts as a gritty road trip through Americana ghost stories and quickly explodes into a cosmic battle between heaven, hell, and everything in between. Sam and Dean Winchester, armed with shotguns and sarcasm, face everything from vengeful spirits to Lucifer himself, guided by fate, loss, and an endless supply of classic rock. Across 15 seasons, the show morphs from Monster of the Week thrills into a sprawling mythos of biblical proportions, while still finding room for self-aware humor, heartbreaking deaths, and the kind of brotherly bond that'll wreck you emotionally. Not every arc sticks the landing, but its heart, soul, and sheer ambition make it a defining pillar of modern fantasy TV. For fans of horror lore, emotional storytelling, and epic endgames, Supernatural is a ride worth taking to the very end. Number 1. The Sandman, Netflix.
It's a no.
What's he got in his hands? Open your hands now!
A cosmic being escapes a century-long prison and sets out to reclaim his power and mend the fractured realm of dreams. Welcome to The Sandman, a surreal, poetic epic where gods, nightmares, and mortals all walk the same shifting plane. Tom Sturridge channels dream with ghostly elegance, but it's the haunting ensemble, from Gwendolyn Christie's regal Lucifer to Kirby's radiant death, that breathes life into Neil Gaiman's iconic comic. With lavish production design, meditative pacing, and moments of eerie brilliance, The Sandman is both faithful adaptation and mythic reinvention. It's not just a show, it's a dream logic experience, vast, melancholy, and beautiful. For fans of dark fantasy and existential tales, this is essential viewing. And that's the list. From cults summoning shadows to gods waging war in roadside diners, from haunted keys to tragic vampires.
These keys, they're our legacy.
These dark fantasy series didn't just entertain, they got under your skin. If even one of these just cracked open a new obsession for you, hit that like button, smash subscribe, and ring the bell. We've got more twisted gems and underrated series dropping soon.
Bodhi?
Got a favorite dark fantasy show we missed? Drop it in the comments. We just might feature it next time. And if you made it all the way to number 1, leave a popcorn emoji in the comments so we know you're one of the real ones. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.